Family. I'm just doing a quick live today as I found something really, really interesting. I was having a conversation with Family Tree about what we was talking about on the last live. So I had to talk about it right now because of what they told me. So I'm going to talk about the conversation that I had there. It's going to be on the note in the description. So I'm going to just go to it right at the bottom here. So it's going to be this little conversation. And for to show you, if you see a video yesterday, I'm going to show you that everything that was there was already confirmed with another geneticist, but his family tree DNA confirming it. Watch what it says here. So I talked to two different people. There's going to be Christina first. Say, hello. Thank you for contacting Family Tree DNA. Do you have a kit with us that I can look up? I said, yes, I'm R1B. If you know me, I already told you that I'm R1B, my kit. But I'm asking about the Y DNA tree. It says, and this is what I asked: is Haplogroup FM89 the ancestor, or rather grandfather, of J1 and K groups, right? Because K makes R and Qs, and K makes L and Ts and stuff like that, right? So is it the ancestor, or rather grandfather, of J1 and K groups, as they are in a, now this is very important to understand. Try figure, this word try figure, I don't know how you pronounce it, but the way that it's designed is basically, it's important. I put something in the video yesterday. I'm gonna just go to that real fast and just go to something on the video yesterday, because it's more about what it is technically. That's gonna give a little understanding of it, because anything that's in that basically triangularization form. So this is the video yesterday we did. It's just an extra confirmation for this video. Very, very important to see. But I'm gonna show you something real fast. This right here, this is basically saying that they descend together. I'm just gonna just show you an example. Just give a quick example of what it is. So basically what it is, this is just like an example. It's a clade that basically descends and descends and descends, and it keeps descending down. That's what it's like. Basically, as an ancestor. It's not like for example, if you was to try to relate this to something over here, that wouldn't be considered one. Well, technically on this it would be, but like here's an example right here. Like something like from here, breaking down, they would be related, but you wouldn't say something right here can make something over here. And I'll explain that as we read it, and I'll show you what I mean with that. So basically what it means is that they're all descended. They're all descended. They're all of one family tree. That's important because there are three family trees, and I'm going to talk about that in this reading too. So you're going to see that conversation here. So I say, is haplogroup F M89 the ancestor, or rather grandfather, of J1 and K groups, as they are in a basically triangulation clad or tri-figure. How you say that? How you say this word here? I know my wife's better at pronouncing some things sometimes. What's this one? Was that trifurcating? Trifurcating clad. So it's basically what it basically is basically a clad that's all related. And you'll see that as we go, and they're just going to confirm it. It says, yes, you could call F-M89 an ancient grandfather of those haplogroups. One more time. You can say F-M89 an ancient grandfather of those haplogroups. So everyone under FM89 are related, extremely distantly related, yes. A common ancestor in thousands of years past. And if you've seen the video yesterday, I showed you that F lineage will be considered a lineage that will be found walking as an ancient people, not that old, but still you would consider it people who will be after the flood, because we actually find them in Site and BA. So that's very important. That's very important. Keep on going. So that's why you can see I say nice. This is the last bit. I talk with Christina, talk with someone who is her manager, says nice. So if I was hypothetically say they are one family line from FM89, that would be correct. Now she had left. She had got someone a little more professional, and I had talked to this person named Roberto. And so I asked him, I said, so is FM89 in relation to the said out of Africa descendants, making all lines under it like J and K? I know because what he actually said real fast when he came there, he tried to say, well, it's about 60,000 years ago. And I already told him that I know the dating system. I know that there's two different dating systems. There's the dating of fossils, and there's the out of Africa idea, which is not dating fossils. It's just a concept that has no bounds, no grounds at all. So I know 64,000 years ago is not as old as DE. Now that's very important because we talked about that. This is why I say that, because this is what some people try to do. We know that at CT, right? CT makes DE. We can't say there was a point of time that there existed DE but not CF. That's not true. That's what the out of Africa idea is, saying that all of a sudden, thousands of years ago, there was only A and B lineages. Do you believe that there was only A and B lineages long time ago? That's not true. That's very important. In fact, I'm going to show you when I have a conversation with him about what he's trying to relate everyone to, which is A00, which is this one, which is 0% of the graph. That's very important to know, that your A00 is the one they try to relate everyone to, but that's 0% of the tree because it's its own lineage. That's very important, that A00 is its own lineage. But everything else that's 100% of the tree actually stems from this. These are actually just branches. And then you start to get to real people when you get to BT and CT and stuff like that. That's when you're going to get to your real branches. And then you're going to see here, because you got to know who's a person and what is just considered a mutate or a SNP, what is considered a SNP, and what is considered a person, a fossil. FM89 are fossils. That's very important. And they are found in Site MBA. So let's keep on reading just to get a little understanding on it. So I go on and say, I know 64,000 years is not as old as DE, and the dating method isn't dating fossils, but uses a out of Africa scale of dating. So the out of Africa scale of dating is just a method that they're basically saying that people started in Africa, which is not true. In fact, I have evidence of, let me show you something. I'm going to show you something on one of my videos. That's a rare piece of video of information that got deleted. But I saved it on one of my videos. So I'm going to show you something on one of my videos here on Synthetic Sunday. I'm going to show you something. And I'm just making this live for the record so that this information can be shown, because you haven't seen nothing yet. I'm going to show you something of what we talked about. But let me go down to something here. All right. So I got some
right here. It says right.
I'm going to go to something here. I always like to save timestamps and stuff like that. Let me see if I can find it on there. In fact, sometimes I gotta, because they even try to hide my own comments on my stuff. So I'm just gonna put to refresh it so I can see it and see if I find that one. In fact, it might not even be this one. Let me see if it is. I'm just thinking here what it could be. I'm pretty sure it's on this video, but for some reason I don't see that. But I know where the timestamp is. It's right in the beginning. I'm going to just find it right here. The reason why I'm going to show you this is because I thought it was interesting when it comes to certain lines. I'm just going to see if it's right on the beginning. At least I think it's this one. In fact, it might not even be this video. In fact, I think I know what it is. My bad, it's not this video. It's actually the one on E1B1B and E1B1A. This video. At least I think so. I'm going to pause it and see. pause that real fast and see. The only reason I want to show this because
I have the one with the Arabians.
A00 is the lineage. That's the lineage that they're trying to say is out of African. I'm gonna see if I got it on here. Sometimes they delete my comments, but it wouldn't be hard to find. It wouldn't be hard to find at all. I just gotta make sure it's on this very video. Let me see. In fact, I know it's not on this video because this one I've seen. This one can't be it. I'm thinking it gotta be. It has to be on that other video. It has to be on this one. Let me just see. Just gonna note here where it is, and if not, I'll just timestamp it and then I'll throw it in the description because it's actually a really interesting find. I talk about Sidon BA and then I talk about where it's at. So I don't know why I didn't find it that fast. I don't think it's on this one, but it's on one of these. I'll find it later and I'll throw it in the description. I know it would be after here, and it would be somewhere. I'm gonna see if it's even this, just for curious, because now I'm curious to find it. Sometimes I get like that when it comes to like information. I wanna grab that piece of information, but let me just do that thing again. I'm gonna continue reading that thing if I don't find it that fast. So I'm gonna say that right now I can't find it, but I found a piece of information that had A00 and it got deleted, but it's on one of these and it talks about A00 pretty much going what's the word I'm looking for, into the north in ancient times. So, and which is the lineage they try to say is the outer African idea. So A00, just remember that. I'm gonna show that a little later. So I don't know exactly where it is. I'm just taking a look there one more time. For some reason I'm like that. I just like to find a little thing, but I'll find it later, and I'll show how A00 is found in ancient times outside of it, and I found papers of it. Now I'm gonna continue reading because it's really important to understand that what I'm saying, he understands it as well. That the dating that they're using is the out of Africa dating versus the fossil dating. So fossil dating is noted. F is found in Sidon BA, and that's what we talked about in the last video. BA meaning Bronze Age. So F-M89 makes all lines, right? Understand it, or basically I spell understand under it. Under it meaning IJK are all related. And it says in evolutionary sense, yes. So even the term evolutionary sense, genetically, that means that from F comes all lines under it. From F, all lines come from it. That's basically what it means. It basically means all lines under it are from it. So it says nearly all males alive today descend from a common ancestor believed to have lived in sub-Saharan Africa. Obviously, I'm going to show you that I know what he's talking about. He tried to use A00. That doesn't work. IJK is, and this is why I asked, IJK is an ancestor found in Sidon BA. Is IJK the ancestor of J and K groups? As we know, K makes R, and I put A, but I meant and. It says K makes R and L T groups. So K makes R and L T groups. It says about 30 to 60,000 years ago. That's using your out of Africa scale. Look at the fossils rather, you'll get a more pinpoint number. About 30 to 60,000 years ago, a small group of humans exited Africa. Just saying that they're a small group that's related. It says, I disagree on the origin as we found A00 in ancient Europe. So that's why I was looking for that. That's why I was looking for that paper or that thing, because if you had seen it, I already had talked about it, that they had an A00 found outside of the Levant. So it was one of those, well, outside of Levant, outside of what's the word I'm looking for? I'm gonna go back real fast. I don't know why I still want to look for it. Outside of Africa. And that's very important. The reason why that's important, because that's the lineage that they say was always in Africa, but to find it in ancient times outside of Africa says that the out of Africa idea is not true, which we've been talking about that before, like when we debunked the out of Africa idea, just by talking about A00 and different lineages and things like that. But for the clarification, I would have to look for it later, and I'll put it in the description because I don't know where it's at, and I know it's early in the video, but YouTube be doing some things that are very odd, so I'm gonna leave that like that. I'm gonna continue reading this. So this is what it says. So I just say their ancestors, just say they are a small group of ancestors, pretty much. I just disagree on the origin because I know that is not no out of Africa idea. And it says all non-sub-Saharan African humans today descend from that population. So they just say what he's basically saying here is saying that the FM89 group that makes the IJK group, they're all related, right? They're all going to be the same peoples. That's very important. That's going to be important for what's further on said. So you see how he says they all descend. This is just a continuation. They say they all from the same population. I just say I'm just curious of genetic connections of F to IJK groups because I'm not trying to hear the A00 because A00 is 0% of the tree. So that's just important to know that A00 doesn't descend into people. A00 descends into its own branch. That's very important. So I just want to get the information that if F creates IJK groups. So watch the concentration of this information. He says F is the ancestral parent haplogroup of the ones mentioned. So he just said F makes IJK. That's important because F is a living person. He says F is the ancestral parent haplogroup of the ones mentioned. So let's just say nice, right? One more thing just to make sure, right? One more time. FM89 makes all lines of IJK, correct? And this is what he says. In fact, we'll go over here. You can see, so I asked, you can see nice, right? F-M89 makes all lines of IJK, correct? And he says, so he just showed me, what he actually showed me was just this, right? He just showed me that, of course, they make each other. There's no doubt that F makes all the lines under it. You can't have IJK without F. F is of it. But wait till you see what's important about that. So he says, you can see it on our public haplogroup tree. IJK descended from F-M89. Yeah, yes. Then it's correct to say F-M89 is a grandfather of IJK, but not A, B, nor D, E haplogroups. What do you say? Yes. What is that? What did I talk about yesterday? I said that everything under CF makes their own lineages, but A and B lineages and D and E lineages are their own. What does that mean? The split is at CT. Let's go to the tree and see. So the split isn't nowhere over here. These are actually recent peoples. The split is at CT. CT makes lineages of CF, which are all Japhetic, and CT makes DE lineages, which are Shemitic. Those are actually Shemitic lineages. The African or the Hamitic lineage, the native African and the native Hamitic lineage is going to be your A and B lineages. And that's important to note the video we made yesterday to show that A and B makes their own lineages. They don't make CT. A and B are of BT, but they're not of CT. That's very important. So that's what I put there. This is what I asked. I said, yes, then it's correct to say F-M89 is a grandfather of IJK, but not A and B, which are Hamites, nor D and E, which are Shemite haplogroups. Yes. That's an evidence of Ham, Shem, and Japheth right there. So that's all I needed. So that was just evidence of Ham, Shem, and Japheth. I put it on this note as I've been talking about it for a while that FM89 is a living person. We found them in Site MBA. We found them all the way in Assyria. I mean, not Assyria, in where the Mongolians are. We found it all the way in Asia. It's a lineage that went very far out. It's very important to see the video we did the day before. So just to show you that, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, one more time. You can see here, this will be your split. BT and CT is actually your split. You from here, you're going to get from BT, you're going to get A lineages and B lineages. Those are going to be Hamitic lineages. Under CT is a different split. You're going to get your CF, which doesn't make DE, and DE, which doesn't make CF, because Japhethnites don't make Shemites, and Shemites don't make Japhethnites. You see what I'm saying? And Hamites don't make none of those. See what's going on there? CTBT is the split. CF are Japhetic. DE are Shemitic. So now you understand what we were talking about. So with that, family, I just wanted to bring that out. Very important. And if you want a little more confirmation, let me read something from here. Here's a study on the Ashkenazi Jews' mysterious origin unrevealed by scientists, right? Thanks to ancient origin. This is from an individual who we had talked about, Aaron Elhawk, right? He's a geneticist. Very important. This is what he says. He says, where do Jewish people come from, right? This is a question, right? They obviously been wanting to find out for millennia, right? And obviously they know that the cave with the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who are buried in the cave of the patriarchs in basically Hebron. You can understand. It just lets us know, right? In the West Bank, it says buried alongside is Adam and Eve. So that's important. We don't have those ancient genetics, right? And obviously Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, Rachel, right? The caves have never been excavated. That's very important. The caves have never been excavated. Now, watch this important information that's told here, though. For a more scientific take on the Jewish, this talk about the Ashkenaz, the Jewish origin debate. Recent DNA analysis of Ashkenazi Jews, a Jewish ethnic group. Ethics, very important to understand what is ethics. Ethics is not genetics. Ethics is a people that claim to be a thing. Revealed that their female lineage, their maternal line, is European. Why is that important? Because they try to say they just met those females, but if you trace them back all the way back to their root, they're European themselves. They're European themselves. And the females, there's no way they just met those females out of nowhere, and only 3% of their ancestry traces to the middle, to basically the Middle East. What's important is that the females that they have now are the females they had before. And a lot of them also that they had broke off from, that came from, we had talked about that. If you want to see that more on that, just see our video that we just did on J-P58. We did 2 videos how I point that they're the Amorites, and that's why they're in the Middle East, because they came from the Akkadians, but they themselves got to know that they came from the north. They're a northern people that came down, and their origins is in the north. That's why everything under F is related, right? Everything under F is related. That's important to understand. So that's why I was saying, if you can find under F a European lineage, you know that that's what you're looking at. So take note that their lineage doesn't point that they're actually going to be from Israel, but they themselves are not one tribe, but many tribes, a mix of tribes, of groups. That's really what they are. They're actually a grouping of multiple peoples and things like that. And a lot of them are actually going to be under F. A lot of the lineages are under F. And they're found to be, as they say, Ashkenaz. They even trace to ancient Ashkenaz, right? That's very important. That they themselves, if you look up Ashkenaz and the connection with them, you can find out some very interesting things, right? And the interesting thing is that basically the same way that the females are European, they have to admit as well as they are. So I just want you to understand that what we're bringing out is truth. So I just want to show you that. And I really recommend seeing that video yesterday. And I'll put something in the description about, what's the word I'm looking for? A00. So, which I found that real fast, but I just wanted to show you these information. So this right here will be in this note about F. Very important. I'll probably go over it either this Sunday or next Sunday, as obviously finding a little more information on it. It's the grandfather of all these groups. Where you see L, T, G, J, I, R, N, Q, K. K makes basically almost all of those except I and J, which basically come from F. So obviously O, F, M, S. Those are all will come from F. and CF, these are all connected. But what's not connected is DE lineages. So your E majorly in this area, and E is also found to go some in Africa, some over here in India, some over here in Japan, so in China, stuff like that, and obviously in the islands over here. So D and E is connected, but F doesn't make E and D. That's very important. F doesn't make E and D, nor does it make A and B lineages, which are the original natives to Africa. I already talked about that yesterday too, about these lineages and things like that. So that's just important to note that everyone was at the Tower of Babel. That's the beginning of where people began, at the Tower of Babel. So if you want to see some interesting things, we can talk about some interesting things, and we can get a good understanding on who peoples are. The people who were pre-flood people, I have found this paper on the what's it called, the Dirt Cave. The people who are pre-flood people are basically who the people call Neanderthals and all those groups, because they're not on the same stem, but they're still human. They're all still human, but we don't see them today, right? Those are people that were wiped out. But today, all the people living today are all living people that we can find today, right? These are all people after the flood, right? People we find in Sidon, right? Modern Sidon or even ancient Sidon, right? In that land, we know that the people who are in that land, what's important about it is that if we find them in the Bronze Age, then we know those are living people. And that's what we talked about yesterday. That's an example of what we talked about yesterday. So all modern people would stem from CTBT. All modern people, all people who basically considered after the flood are from CTBT. And we know that F doesn't make DE nor A and B, so therefore F is its own lineage. Everything under F are related. It's very important. So you can see here, one more time, just a summary of that chat we had. So I just had a conversation with two different people from Family Tree DNA. And what did I find out? I found out that everything under F is basically related, because everything under F makes pretty much everyone who is going to be IJK. So they're extremely related. And also, we had a conversation with one of her superiors, and he basically also confirmed, long story short, that F is the ancestral parent haplogroup of the ones mentioned, which F is the parent haplogroup of IJK. That's very important. So you can see right on the site, you can see it right on the site that IJK descend from F groups, which is a grandfather. So very important. Here's an answer to the direct question. Yes, right? Then it's correct to say F-M89 is a grandfather of IJK, but not A and B nor DE haplogroups. Yes. Therefore, everything under F is related, but it does not make lines of A and B or D and E. Therefore, F is not that's not Noah. Therefore, it has to be under Noah. So therefore, he's one line. So Japhetic. With that, family, be blessed, be beloved. Or if you have any questions, let me know. But I'm going to wait to like the 30-minute timestamp. Shalom, shalom, family. Shalom, shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shalom, shalom. I hope you have a great day today. Let the word have its day. Let the word speak to you, as that is, of course, our focus is the word itself. But, it's interesting to see that reality agrees with these things. Reality agrees with the three splits. So very important to know. We got three splits of three families that don't make each other, but they're all humans. So they don't make each other. So CF doesn't make A and B, nor does it make D and E, right? That's an example of an ancestral split. So three different lineages there. So that's what this was. That's what this was here. It's just a piece of evidence by a geneticist, just showing that what we have here is going to be that season. And if you know me, when it comes to prophecy, I'm also going to let you know that I got a prophecy on my page where I talk about some very important things. So I'm just going to say this in a blunt form. F-M89 makes IJK, which are all Japhetic, farewell. 2024 major events are coming. So with that, family, you'll know when the season comes what we're doing when we're bringing this stuff out. With that, be blessed, be beloved, and amen.